things do happen. And on Saturday, a tragedy happened. In the Tree of Life Synagogue, the Tree of Life, 11 lives were extinguished, many more injured, by a madman. A madman that walked into a temple of peace on the Sabbath, and screamed out, "All Jews must die," and began to fire upon innocent women and children and men. This cannot stand in this country. And I charge that all of our elected officials, all of our police officers, all of our citizens, be vigilant, look out, see the evil, and try with all our mights to stop this meaningless lives taken.
But if you're suggesting that it be canceled out of fear, that we never want to see happen. Staten Island is the safest part of it.
It's never been this difficult or sad to be with you today. So and I'm not speaking for my colleagues, and when I say colleagues, I mean those who are running for office this year, but our hearts go out to the people of Pittsburgh and the Jewish community. I sit on Homeland Security. We sat in my house yesterday getting briefed throughout the day of what happened, and it's just a hard time for our country, so we are with you. There's a whole feeling that there's no civility left in our system, and particularly the political system, and that's got to stop. And we could show it today. My opponent is Max Rose. He's a good man. Man's an American hero. He served our country. We both want to serve you in Congress, but we're not enemies. We might have a few different philosophies, but we just want to do the same thing, represent you. So we could start with civility right here in the public domain, in the political domain. So thank you for allowing us to be with you today, and know that it's a hard thing for us to do as well. I am the only Republican member of Congress in New York City. There's 12 Democrats and me, and it's not a fair fight. I feel bad for the 12 of them. But I get along with every one of them. It's real funny when we go to an event and somebody has the microphone before me and say, and this is a bipartisan issue. I said, of course it is. You got me. I'm the one that makes it bipartisan. But we do, because we fight for our city and our community. And I'll continue to do that. I pledge to you if you give me the privilege of serving you again. Thank you very much. And I would ask you also to give my opponent the same opportunity to be heard as I did. Because as I said, civility's got to start here. Thanks so much.
I don't think the American public has ever seen an opponent. I mean, what you just did was just unbelievable. You talk about civility. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, can you stress it more to the people watching on both sides of how to do this?
Yeah, I think the public's disgusted about when people call one another names. There are two people who want the same job, who want the privilege of representing it. We have difference in philosophies, different beliefs, and that's what should dictate who wins or loses. The public should see that instead of the name calling. Sometimes the rhetoric gets in the way and you don't even know what someone stands for. People should stand up and tell the public what they stand for, recognize that their opponent has a similar opportunity to let people know what they're about, and then let the people choose. But this rhetoric has got to stop. This name calling's got to stop. We should be civil and an example to the general public of how, if we could do it, everyone should be able to do it.
Now, from a Homeland Security standpoint, is there anything that can be done legislatively when people write hate online, social media, you know, whether it's Twitter, this Gab? I mean, it's pretty shocking what people write. Can something be done?
And a lot of that is mined by the FBI and various law enforcement agencies. They follow the internet to see if there's any hate language and if there's any actions that can be taken because of that. So it's done. What we've done in Congress, we've allowed synagogues, houses of worship, Shoals to apply for Homeland Security money so that they can use that money for protective measures, whether it be cameras, alarms, security guards. So we've already taken some measures to help religious institutions protect themselves.
Now, is there going to be more done for 2019? I'm saying every year there's
Yeah, every year.
allocations, right? So is that coming up now?
Yes, we're in the process of appropriating money now for 2018.
Do you think there'll be more money because of what just happened?
I think so.
Okay, thank you.
When I served in Afghanistan, my soldiers came from everywhere. Black, white, Jewish, Christian, gay, straight, dreamer, citizen. None of that mattered, though, when it came time to getting the job done. And that was especially true when my vehicle hit a bomb in Afghanistan. And as I was lying there in a hospital bed, a two-star general comes up to me. He looks down and he says, "Son, 5 years ago you'd be dead." Then he walks away. That's how generals comfort you. That's also how Scott comforts you. But he was right. If I had hit that bomb in 2003 rather than 2013, not only would I have died, but more importantly, people I loved, people I was entrusted with protecting and leading would have lost their lives. The only reason why I lived is Congress had gotten together years prior and dedicated just a couple $100 million to put armor underneath my vehicle. Successfully pushed the explosion away from its core, and they did it in a bipartisan manner, and more importantly than that, they did it in a quiet manner. They didn't care about Fox, they didn't care about MSNBC, they didn't care about tweeting, they didn't care about their donors. They just got the job done and they saved my life. I'm standing before you as a congressional candidate because Congress got something done, and it's time that they do that in a much bigger manner.
But I want to thank all the people who are here of the Jewish faith, because as we sat and watched those facts terribly unfold, we also were reminded of the fact that for thousands of years, 5,000 if not more, the Jewish people have flourished despite all the persecutions that have befallen them. And every time throughout history, and I know even today, I feel it in this room, that you are living, you are the embodiment of Dr. King's words, that hate cannot defeat hate, only love can. And violence cannot defeat violence, only peace can. And that is the way of the Jewish people, that is the way of the Jewish faith, and for all that you do every day in the community and beyond, someone who is not a Jew says to you all, thank you very much for being our brothers and sisters and showing us the way in the most difficult times. I salute you all. And just know this, that in our office and in partnership with the PD, anytime anyone commits a hate crime, they will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
If you woke up today or last night, for those of us who are observant, I know it sounds bizarre to some of you, but we didn't actually find out what was going on until after Shabbos was over. We don't look at our cell phones, we don't look at social media. We didn't know until Shabbos was over at 7 o'clock last night what happened. When you open up your phone, it's like your neighbor got shot. That's the way you feel in the Jewish community because our community is so small, but more importantly, it's because our community has been persecuted together for thousands of years. There is a theme for 3,500 years. As long as there have been Jews, there have been people who wanted to kill Jews. And it doesn't matter whether you're in France, in Paris, and there is an attack in a store, in a supermarket, or in Argentina where there's a bombing in a Jewish center, or in Jerusalem where they're blowing up a bus, or in Pittsburgh. It's the same feeling, that feeling you get in your gut. And everybody here who's Jewish knows exactly what I'm talking about. You get that gut feeling, you're saying, oh no, not again. Not again, because we've seen it again and again and again. And among all the politics and the messaging, the one thing we just have to remember is that unfortunately, anti-Semitism is real and it exists. And I just want to share with you one crazy fact. You can look this up on the FBI's webpage. Jews make up 2% of the United States population, but over 50% of religious hate crimes are targeted towards Jews. Think about that. What do you want from us? We're only 2% of the country, but 50% of religious hate crimes are targeted against Jews. So the conversation, sure, depending on what side of the aisle today, you can talk about guns, and you can talk about civility, and you can talk about politics. But what we have to talk about is that unfortunately, anti-Semitism exists, and it's real, and it matters. And more than anything else, and more than the rhetoric and the cheap talk that we always hear 24 hours afterwards where everybody gets into their political mode, we need support and love from other communities to understand that this is a daily occurrence in the Jewish community where we see swastikas and we have people yell at us, and we have people curse at us for nothing, just because we are members of the Jewish faith.
And so today I'm really here to say thank you, because I cannot say this in any other room. I'm here in Staten Island, and I know every elected official in this room, and every public official, and every community leader, and I know that you support us, you love us, and you respect us, and we thank you for that.